I'm Phil Bolton with the Global Atlanta News Service, and I'm here with Dr. Pandermalis, the president of the new Acropolis Museum from Athens, Greece. It's a great pleasure to have you in Atlanta, Dr. Pandermalis.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Please describe the scope of the museum. We know that it's one of the most exciting architectural projects taking place in the world today. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been involved and what's gone into its creation.
I would say the new Acropolis Museum is one of the most progressive archaeological museums in the world. It's a very special museum because it's related to one place, and is in one way a kind of a theme museum. We have not different collections. We have finds from just one place, the most important place of classical Greece, Athens. And Acropolis for many centuries was and is a symbol for classical art and for democracy, for ancient Greek philosophy, for classical literature. The purpose of this museum is to present in an appropriate way some of the masterpieces of classical art, some pieces created by well-known artists, and we like to show to the people the real sources of what we define as classic and classicistic. Everywhere in the world, especially in the West world and also in America, you see relations, you see links to classical art. There are so many houses in America with Doric columns, Ionic columns, Corinthian, with pediments, very characteristics of classical architecture. There are statues, they have prototypes, statues from the classical art. But it is different to present the Renaissance or 18th century, 19th century pieces, and to have also the originals, the first creation of this art. And I think this is very important, is a walk to our past.
The Greek revival movement was very important, particularly in the south of the United States.
That's correct.
Tell us about when you felt that the old museum on the Acropolis itself just was too small and too limited to reach the objectives that you had.
This feeling was present from the very first moment. And I'm saying that because just after the finishing of the first small Acropolis Museum on the hill of Acropolis, a spectacular discovery was made with bringing to light a lot of statues, unknown statues of the archaic period, architectural sculpture, and thousands of finds. And already in the 19th century, it was not possible to house all these pieces in the old museum. And they created an extension of this museum, and the museum was again rebuilt after the Second World War. But always it was too small, and this makes clear why we needed a new Acropolis Museum. A second reason was that we decided to present the architectural sculpture, the sculpture from the temple of the goddess Athena, as they were in antiquity. That means we had to create a space to incorporate the volume of the temple, of the ancient temple. So we had to create a hall of more than 3,000 square meters for these sculptures, only for these sculptures. Therefore, the museum was necessary to be built, and especially to be appropriate for the meaning of these exhibits.
Meanwhile, there's been a lot of renovation and restoration on the Acropolis itself, has there not? That's been going on for many years, and that is still ongoing, is it not?
Of course, of course.
And how much longer will it be while those restorations are completed?
I think it will last for some years because it's a very accurate work, and our people and the architects, special architects, they deal very carefully with these pieces. They like to find for every architectural member of the original position, every fragment. They look for every fragment, and I mean we have 1,000 fragments. If they fit with other fragments, and to present as much as possible from the original architecture.
How long has it taken for the new museum to get us to the point where it is now?
We needed for the preparation and for some legal affairs with our neighbors and other people, and for the construction altogether 9 years. The construction, only for the construction, was enough 3 years work. But the legal preparation is a huge work, and as you know, everywhere in the world, it's not easy to find solutions for these legal problems. But this is over, and now the museum is finished.
In your presentation that we saw last night at the High Museum, it was clear that this was an effort involving many, many people. Could you give us a sense of how many people were employed and the different kinds of people? For instance, while there was one main architect, I understand you had a lot of other specialists. Just to move these antiquities also involved logistics workers and so forth. An enormous project.
You know, as in all projects, always is one chief architect, and this was Bernard Tschumi, an architect and professor of architecture in the Columbia University in New York, deriving from Switzerland. And we had also Greek architects collaborating with him, Mr. Fotiadis, for example. And of course, there were also other specialists. We had a very good architect for the glass architecture of the museum, Hugh Dutton from Paris. We had people who worked for the seismic isolation of the museum. So many specialists, of course, also archaeologists. They excavated the site because we prepared through an extended excavation. And of course, our organization was involved. We checked every work, and we coordinated everything there. We gave the guidelines for all the people. And we had workers from different areas of the world. We had for the glass construction, we had mostly people from Germany and from the United Kingdom, very good people. And for the construction of concrete, we had people from Albania, we had people from India. Of course, we had the Greek people working there. We have people from Russia working for the museum. Practically, we're a multicultural group, a huge multicultural group working for the museum. And I think this is really good because everyone was a specialist for a special area of the construction.